the other morning. He was talking about, I see you guys keep you're talking specifically about white belts. One of the days Tanner wasn't here, and he was saying, I see the white belts. You guys get into white belt mode where you just get into close guard, and then you open it to try and do something, and immediately close it back up. But there's times that he's like, you need to use that butterfly guard. You keep
Butterfly half guard,
getting in the butterfly, and then you don't do anything with it. You just snap the leg out and go back to close guard. It wasn't appropriate at the time because obviously we were in class, but I don't know what the fuck to do with a butterfly hook.
So, and that's good. We'll touch that because it'll be similar to what I'm going to introduce. We'll introduce butterfly guard into what we can do, and then we can break it down in the next few classes because there's a lot to it. But butterfly guard can be used to go to a submission or to sweep. But knowing the defense will help you with your offense.
Okay.
Because the easiest thing to do with the butterfly guard is to stand up. And I jokingly, I don't know if you guys ever watched Coach Jones.
I've heard the just stand up.
But in a lot of occasions it does work.
Right.
If you're dealing with someone who's very proficient at being a bump, just stand up. But the collar tie, I call it the collar tie. That's just for my whole gym. If I got hooks or not hooks, go in a seatbelt, stab the heart, whatever hand goes over, grab the medial portion of the hand, and keeping your head tight, chest, back connection. With kids, I always say superhero symbol. The superhero symbol I stole that from a female black belt that teaches. Used to teach me. So I think of that, but everybody's expecting this, and immediately they go that hand clinch, and he comes over to defend, or he gets one hand under. So sometimes I'm not able to make that connection as I'm coming here. So as he's trying to do that cross hand, I'm always thinking, if I can get here, now I'm using this underhook to grab the meaty portion of his hand. And I probably told all of you this before. Have I told you this one? Okay, so at 10th Planet we call it the 5-0 grip because it's a law enforcement grip. But if you grab here, his wrist compromises his tricep extension down. So if he punches straight down and I'm holding his forearm, his cutting blade, he's really powerful. So I'm just gonna give him as much resistance and just push straight down. I can't control him. But now you can give it the same amount of force, even more. You feel a little bit less effective there.
Yeah.
So I do want him
breaking back.
Right. So I do want him to eventually push it down because I'm going to bring my heel over to his elbow pit. But this is really a control to distract to where I really want to get. I'm going to rotate my hand this way. I want my elbow, my arm short, but I want my elbow underneath his chin. And I want to get here on his shoulder, like with a rock climber on his grip on his scapula. So if I get here, he's closer to fighting me. And I fail because I'm kind of half-assed not doing a seatbelt, and I'm half-assed not doing this little grip right here. Because you can see he's already starting to feel uncomfortable under his chin. So if I can get in the habit of, as I'm coming here, he comes in a hand fight, boom. I'm fighting for this as I'm walking this up like a spider. So I'm sometimes walking, I'm not really tiptoeing, just tapping on him. I'm really walking it, and you can feel I'm gripping into his body. Same thing here. So if he goes here, he doesn't want to go to the choking side, but I want him to go on the choking side. So that if I am fighting with his hand, sometimes I'll pull it up and he's trying to fight, pushing it down, and I'm pulling it up to his face, and he pushes straight down. I'm trying to get my heel into his elbow pit, and I'm not necessarily squeezing this over his stomach as much as I'm hooking my heel into his torso, and I'm bringing my knee into his shoulder. So now if you try to pummel out of it somehow, where do you feel the pressure on that? Kind of like...
yeah, I mean, kind of everywhere.
Ideally, if I
but on my wrist, I can't manipulate my lower arm at all.
So you can finish this choke right here with the forehead pressure, and I'm not necessarily torquing my elbow back, I'm bringing my head forward. And if I can bring my foot behind him,
oh yeah, that's
it's
on my
even
elbow
worse.
big time. What's that?
So it compromises his elbow. If you go on either side, so if we're going to seatbelt, we're fighting right here, he's already feeling the choke come. So he realizes this is fuel. So he's gonna start reaching up to try to defend. I'm gonna hopefully get here. If I can't get there, I don't care. Push the shoulder forward, bringing his hand back. Sometimes when they're really good at fighting this, and I got the hand right here in the front of the deltoid, I'll release the underhook, punch. And it's not really punching, I'm just tapping as I'm opening and grabbing more property, more territory there. So I'll show you what it feels like so you can try to simulate it on each other. Because it's a real distinct feeling. I can even do it without hooks. As we come in and you start just pummeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I'm fighting for this, I'm reaching up right away. My head's connected, I'm moving forward. So, we're fighting, you know, we go to seatbelt, go to hand. So you can feel I'm driving my head forward. Usually it's hard for me to do because I'm a little shorter, so I have to really crawl at people's backs. So it's almost like I don't even worry about the hooks as long as I keep my knees in their kidneys. And then I can bring one knee into the hook or whatever. So let's try it on each other a couple times, like 2 times and switch. You can stay on the same arm. I was just showing you the feeling.
Right.
Because you feel the connection.
So.
You don't need that sound. You don't need that sound. Yeah, you did. You corrected yourself.
Yeah, first I went like this.
Let's get your head a little bit.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
almost your temple behind his ear.
Oh, okay.
And I want you to grip on his shoulder blade. And if you wanted to, and let's just say he's doing a real good job of finding your hands in here. Get your hands, let's get both your hands on this. Keep walking this and pushing your head forward. How do you feel about that choke coming on? Feels like it's, yeah.
No, I need to scooch more.
Yeah. So remember, it's yeah. So as much as you might lose this, but keep this.
Okay.
Well, as soon as you twist that way, I feel it release.
Mhm.
Then as soon as you move that way, I feel it tighten.
So think of
Like
it.
driving my head, you mean?
So think of it.
No,
this
so,
way.
so you actually, when you looked this way, you actually moved your shoulder and elbow to the left.
So sometimes what happens when we're fighting for this, and if you do this, it feels like that.
Yeah.
Whereas instead we want to almost bring the wrist to the deltoid, push it forward.
Yeah. Big difference. Yeah. Okay. So.
Walk these hands, make
Yes.
these little fingers like that. Now bring your elbow down to the sternum. You almost punch it forward instead of bringing your elbow to it.
So. Yeah, I feel the space, but I'm like,
Bring the elbow down to his chest.
okay.
And I want you with your forehead, and once it touches here, push his head forward, his chin down to your belly button. That's it.
So you're to the side of his head.
And try to bring this wrist to your shoulder to touch me.
I see the almost tap. I see the lift.
Go ahead and switch.
Alright. I feel all that space and I was like, how much farther can I go?
Left hand overhook to the. Nothing else. You don't need the thumb on this one because you're really just trying to palm straight down. So if you bring your left hand up, Dante, and then he's gonna resist, start pushing your tricep down, tricep extending, that's when you can overhook, especially with your dexterity. Keep your head connected to his ear. And with that is gonna be the next step, but I'll do it to you a couple of times. That's fine. You go ahead and switch a couple of times.
Did you feel that space too?
Yeah.
Make that adjustment. Okay. Seatbelting. Pummeling. No.
This is what I wanted, ladies.
You can hook us, I can tell them, that's the same, with this, if
Oh,
you can.
to do this? Do the move?
So then you're going into a rear naked, but,
I don't need to.
see if you can do it with, what it's teaching us.
So immediately, as soon as you get that, once you're finished, just already be walking.
Just start walking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
tough. I don't know why.
Well, you,
I feel like I can't go any further. And I'm not really sure what to do with my head beyond.
Some bargaining, I'll get you facing that way.
one of the flaws I have with chokes is, and I constantly have to keep reminding myself, is like, you almost never just get it in one. So you're slowly just working it in. And so if you're trying to like just nail it and then hold it, it's
Yeah.
not gonna be a good choke, but if you're just kind of slowly
Continuing.
and that, you had,
Yeah.
from when I had a 10th planet class, they were like doing a demonstration on how much less energy that uses to just slowly work it in versus trying to like get it in there.
Right.
Like you use way less energy if you're just slowly working it in there.
Yeah, I think doing the north-south where you can't go from nothing to you're getting the choke. You've gotta settle in, wiggle it in, and wiggle it in, and wiggle it in, and wiggle it in, and eventually the person's just like, tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, this gets worse. So think of the C5, and I'm not familiar with a lot of it, but I know the C5 because we've been talking about it. Last year, there's a black belt who's a retired homicide detective from Brazil, came to 10th Planet, he's been there for 2 years training. He's already a black belt, but he's learning 10th Planet. But he says in Brazil, from day one they always talk about the C5, and he said the cervical. He said the cervix, I'm like, I don't think it's the same thing. I got confused because of obviously the difference in language. But what he meant is, if you're thinking about this area right here, what we want to do is get a 90-degree on the head. And the way the choke works is we're blocking or obstructing somewhere here. Obviously, we don't want to get the trachea, that's like stuff is a sub. But we want to block this here somehow, so that as he bends forward, there's something preventing him from tucking his chin all the way down. And this is why, ideally, if you have longer arms and you've got a partner who kind of has a neck at least, you want to get your elbow underneath their chin, ideally.
Yeah. Okay.
Where the choke comes from, the blade and the bicep cutting off the carotid.
Okay.
So this is why, for me, I have to really double down and think about my elbows got to be in line with his torso or his sternum.
Get him on the sternum.
But I'm not always there. I can't get there.
Yeah.
Usually he's beefy, and I've got great stubby arms, so I'm thinking pushing my wrist to my shoulder or the front of my deltoid.
Okay.
So if I have him face you, I need to be higher, but I still need to keep my head low. So I'm pushing my forehead from his
Like at the
left ear to his nose. So I'm trying to make a line in this direction so that I'm pushing his head down.
Okay.
But my elbow is here. This is where ideally I want to be. So if I don't even push his head forward, my blade and my bicep
Yeah, I can feel it.
are touching there.
Okay.
So the people that have put me to sleep have been because I don't feel the threat.
Yeah.
But I feel a beefy arm coming in, I can tuck the chin and start fighting.
Right.
But once I feel this pressure, I'm like, I'm gonna work my escape and I fall asleep. So it's happened to me twice. Once in a demonstration with a UFC fighter, she just was showing, I was like, I have a tap. And then was a 20-year-old girl who just got my back, and I was like, I'm gonna bridge, and I woke up. I'm driving my coach, she goes, you were out. I said, who the fuck's going out? You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
She ran to the bathroom crying. So think of it this way. So here, I'm still fighting.
Yeah.
So he's hand fighting, and he wants to get the end of this fulcrum, because at the end of this lever, I'm sorry, because if he can prevent me from walking back, I have to go to short choke across the straight here. This is why I always try to remember to myself, don't stop here. And we always end up stopping here because we go from the seatbelt, and I go, oh, okay, I'm still good here. But this is where I end up losing the battle. But whereas if I can get that little inch higher than the collarbone, I drive forward, I'll release, I'll drive forward with my head, release,
Okay.
I'll come out, I'll just give it a little tap, a couple of taps,
Push.
boom.
Okay.
My hand just slides.
So he can go two hands on this. If I'm right here on his, I think of Roman soldiers or Trojans, or they got that little thing on their uniform that keeps it warm.
Yeah.
I gotta get above that. So right there, he's got two hands on, one, his elbows are in tight, he's crunching forward. I'm not gonna beat him, but I might be able to drive forward. But now I'm just gonna go a little bit higher, just keep that toe on one. Let me move a little bit higher. Great. No, you're good. Go ahead and double down. So go ahead. My elbow's not in line.
Right.
Okay, so, and this is the grip that I wanna show you guys. Dante instinctively went from here, he felt like his hand was here, he couldn't walk anymore, there's a lot of pressure going on. I know I'm not in line for the choke. I can force that trachea choke, but why not be more efficient? I can S-grip, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna almost use his body
Yeah,
to curl my fingers up.
see that.
You're gonna see my elbow move from here, you go to give me 2 on 1 here. And as I'm fighting, you start, yes. Go ahead and give me 100%, okay? I'm bringing it up. So if I can't get this because he's winning that battle, that's great, bring it up. I'm still keeping that forward head pressure. I'm not gonna go down, palm. And this is still like 50 to 60%.
Get the head adjust in there too.
So if you're tall enough to get your chest in the right position, that's fine. That's why I'm on my knees, because I can't do it with him.
Right.
And yeah, he's right there. He's not over here on my temple.
Right.
He's right there
Right on the occiput.
left side of the occiput. And he's using that occiput ridge to kind of pop my head forward.
Go ahead and lead over it, up both hands, and without any head positioning, I'm gonna try to bring my hand up. Same thing.
Oh yeah, that's super uncomfortable for me.
I'm not even choking yet, I'm just getting my hand in the right position. Getting that elbow in the right position.
And it doesn't matter how hard you hold.
That grind in the back of the head too.
But I'm trying not to break connection, but I'm giving you enough, because you're gonna start pushing back on your head. If you start pushing back on your head, I hope you're feeling and keeping your chin tucked. Now tuck your chin, try to arch your neck back at the same time. It's hard.
It just opens it
It's
up.
not impossible. I can kind of arch my back.
You gotta keep your shoulders up at the same time. And
So you know what I'm going for.
yeah, there's.
So here I'm a little low, so go ahead and double it under. I know you're strong as hell. I'm gonna try to just put my hand up. I can't walk it up. Same thing, keep your chin tucked. I'm just trying to get in position. You feel that? I wasn't trying to crush his chin, his jaw. I'm not trying to get the choke just yet. I'm trying to get my hand ideally in this position. So let's do that a couple times with each other. And it's just fighting for this position. This is where we're gonna expend more energy here, and we're using leverage. Or you want to do it to me? Spider block. That's good. My bad. Every day, sorry.
It's the coffee, man. It's that coffee run right before class.
So right here, you can feel that you're.
Yeah,
really
once you S-grip that a couple times and get it kind of ratcheted into position, then that palm to palm and driving the far side elbow.
Now play with it a little bit higher than the clavicle. You can start above the clavicle a little bit. Okay, and now sit. Oh, sorry. Go. A lot easier.
Yeah.
Like, I really got a long way to go with Dante's neck, of like getting on in line with that sternum.
Switch up, go down and see if you get. So if your left hand's free, you can push, give me a little tap on the back of my deltoid on my shoulder.
Oh, this is a good time.
Yeah.
Well, throw away there.
Use this.
And then use your screw.
And if you get without forward, you can go to one-handed, or you can go to palm,
Just like that.
palm to palm. Now you your left elbow's in
Yeah,
position.
patience.
Yeah, instead of doing that.
That's
to the
what,
left,
And that's,
and that
first
bring
day
the
we're
elbow,
looking for
feel
Mike.
that,
and the elbow.
just tighten, just
Yeah.
tighten, squeeze.
Yeah,
It's
it's
still
that,
going
that
this way.
patience thing.
Bring that elbow.
It's okay, I'm in a good position.
It's all good.
Got his leg, no danger here, no
And
danger.
now crunch forward.
I think that's a big part.
So I want you to think of bringing this elbow
It's
down to my
6
knee.
months for me, like
So we're gonna go here.
Yeah.
Chill out. Reverse your grip so that your palm behind you is up. The one's on my back. Is it up?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Love it.
what you can do is use your forearm, or your right forearm.
I'm really
pull
learning
your
how to use
hand
my
back.
legs more too, cause I got this flexibility factor on mine, so I should be able to do stuff with this.
Yeah, and there's a lot, once you start doing
Head
that,
and then towards your navel.
there's so much there. You don't even necessarily have to bring it back here, but
You
you
just
just
keep, like-
keep it in like a hook.
Gotcha, okay.
Cause I'm worried about my neck right now.
I feel like I'm trying to twist.
Cool.
I just can't do it through that.
Yeah,
So
I'm
here,
finally
I get too low.
feeling it, there's that
Five
last
over,
little
you got too much structure.
Yeah.
where it's like finally in line
I'll
with
even
the sternum.
Go ahead and
And
pull
then
back
over
on.
here.
The closer you bring that elbow across,
I'm flat here.
the tighter it gets.
Yeah,
And it's just less and less and less and less room.
less effort, like you're saying too, where at first I was like, pushing up, pulling, what's going on?
Does it feel different with different?
Yeah, totally.
Now the beauty
Cool.
of this, just like you were doing, Jason, if you get the choke in, you get me to one side. And the 5-0, I'm worried about this, but he's got a little bit of beefy leg, he's walked a few flights of stairs in his life, and he can't really get this tricep extension all the way down to lock my elbow out. But what happens if he can bring it up to my chest? Right now, you're working on this grip behind my shoulder, right?
Right.
So I'm worried about that, and then you let me bring this up to my heart. Look at my elbow. If I get this elbow, if you can get a little bit higher on my back, get your heel, your left heel into my elbow pit if you can. As I create this pocket, and Jason's a little bit more flexible, and I'm not getting on that, I just have the same problem.
With the drop into your strong side, with, when we're going, if we're working this, is like, can you still get it if you're on your shoulder or you want me?
So, Tanner brings up a really good point about when you're going to that strong side, being up on your elbow. With this one, you can be on your side as long as you have that shelf over the clavicle. Yeah, you have more control of movement on your elbow. You can do that from like half guard to just open guard. But with this one, because you've got control of their shoulder, you're not worried about them coming out or being able to hit down because you're controlling them with that. So,
Yeah.
play with it. I'd say just for this, you don't need to be on your elbow because you're working on control.
So for me, because everybody works rear naked chokes and everybody's seen it so much, this is where when we were learning triple threat with Luke, this is where I caught the back triangle.
Right.
And I'm catching the back triangle a lot, so even when I'm going to that strong side, even if I don't have a good position to get that rear naked choke, I've got this arm up, maybe I've got it trapped, maybe I don't, but as I get this leg up, that's where I can come here. And now, he doesn't know where he's going, because I'm under his leg, or this is where, that's where I'm
You
hitting
can't
the
get it back up. So he's gonna keep this hook in my hip pocket. He's gonna go to this strong choke side. But right now, he's gonna,
As usual.
yeah,
We're going for that.
not so worried about the choke, but we're gonna get that elbow in front of me right now.
Okay.
I want you that 5-0 grip, because I know he's a little more dexterous with his legs. We're gonna work on this one. He's trying to get me straight down to this up here, right? But because I'm being stubborn, I'll keep my elbow tight. Let me bring my hand up to my heart, but still control. So you got your thumb here?
Yeah.
Let me bring it up to my heart a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start thinking I can defend. I want you to get your left heel into my elbow point and just drive it down on my forearm. Once you do that, you can palm your heel in. Now I'm stuck, because I'm driving forward up, he's driving his heel down. So what I want you to do is get your heel into my floating ribs if you can, Once you get that heel in, I feel like I have range of motion. Bring your knee into my shoulder. Listen up a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. So, but you can feel like, if I want to feel that heel pressure, but not death gripping it. And then the knee comes in a little bit to my shoulder. And if you can, tuck this foot behind my back and use that laces down. I'm stuck. If you wanted to block this to finish the short choke, forward head position, I want to feel your fingers warm. Now, push forward with your head. So when I can't do the ABCs, that's when you know you got the choke. Right? And a real lethal one is if you get both hands behind the head. I usually get on smaller, skinny people. You've got a great, going good to me. And we'll just practice doing that. And if you can't get that one, that back triangle is awesome.
Yeah.
Trying to fight the 5-0. Like this. I'm trying to really push it down to get your heel over, and I'm not giving you this. Bring my hand back up.
See, let him.
And then now try to bring your heel up into my elbow pit. You don't even need to get this hand involved. You can just double down. Let's head forward, up pressure on my head. And now really shake. Don't bring it over. I'll try to get a little bit lower.
No, you're fine.
No, but you know, and
No,
if,
I get it.
Choke.
because
I would love to go through the triple threat again.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps you open up everything else.
Yeah.
I'm showing this one because we always end up missing this little detail, the heel. So,
Yeah.
No, that's good.
now I want to bring this heel in, or if you can place them, yeah, go ahead. I want to feel your hand to the back of my scapula, my shoulder blade.
I can't quite reach it, this is not for the shoulder.
All right, we'll switch.
Would that be your preferred side?
It actually is my preferred side with my weaker shoulder at this
Yeah.
point.
So I want your temple to get behind my ear. So if I can get to C and you can hear me struggling, that's good. Sometimes what you can do, Dante should be able to do this. Let me get you back. I've already got you here, so we go to this side. I get you here. And he's doing a real good job of keeping his chin tight. I didn't get under his neck. And he tries to escape the choke or the bulldog choke where I'm trying to crush his jaw into the back of his neck. And he rolls to his right thinking, okay, I'm gonna get out. Your other right. Your other right shoulder.
Roll like that. That's it.
And if I can get this, it's kind of over for him. He's gonna have to scoot down, but he's getting the other thing, so go ahead and scoot down. I gotta chase that. That's his only escape right there.
Yeah.
So knowing that you can get both and then still work the choke is great. So we're here.
Makes the move, then you do the short choke.
So you can see I'm locking my heels back.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pop his head off. I'm still trying to go forward, but I'm super high.
So
Yeah, both his arms.
when you have both of those arms, is that when you go to the gable grip on either side of the neck?
I just
pull back?
I just single here, and that's when I start doing a little bit more of the cross straight. I just don't want you guys to always rely on cross straight here,
Yeah.
because I have shorter arms. You can, but you're extended now. You disconnected your chest from the back.
Okay.
So I just stay there.
That was the dude that there was a video going around about it was a black belt right outside the academy, and somebody was trying to, I guess, light his academy on fire. And that he took the guy down, took his back, and then didn't want to put his hooks in at all. So he did.
Stepped over.
He basically it was here, but he used shoulder pressure
Okay. Yeah.
on either side and something in here.
Yeah. Here's,
And he put the dude straight the fuck out.
There's
And
a
he was
few
like,
times-
nope, in 3 seconds, I'm gonna let him go. 3, 2, 1, let him go. He's like, grab that lighter, let's get the hell out of here.
There's a few chokes from behind that, if you guys YouTube 7-year-old choke, it's literally a child got over this guy's back while he's teaching classes, maybe teaching kids. The kid hooked his heels under the instructor's armpits. The kids were so new, they didn't know what tap meant. And the kid just kind of grabbed underneath the instructor's chin and then just arched up, heels down, and just the black belt started to black out, and he says, holy shit, that's an effective choke. So if you look up 7-year-old choke, I don't want to go cover it, but there's a lot of ways to get people there,
Okay.
because they don't expect that one, and it's fun to surprise people, but you won't get it too many times. I might get it on the
Nice. Once they've been hit with it,
Yeah.
they'll get it second time.
The point I was going to go on to was the gable. No, you're good. I just want to wrap this up and go to butterflies. I like using you because I know that he's got a beefy neck and he's usually the size that I'm going with. And if I just can't finish this guy for some reason, I'm here. I can't finish the short choke. So you guys can see a little bit better. I want you to keep your chin down. I'm going to go over, try not to suffocate your swimming. But he's got his chin down. I can't push him any further forward. So I can be a dick and try to break his jaw, but I don't feel that's as powerful as me just being connected. He's probably going to start hand fighting, reaching for my elbow or my head. Sometimes guys that are really good, they'll start making it uncomfortable for me to give him that forward head pressure, right? So he's doing everything that he feels capable, he's able to do, but this short choke isn't working for me. When I do this, my forearm is pushing forward on the shoulder blade, and my wrist is bringing my underhand, my overhook up. So I'm curling this up, and this is just palming it. Shell's on here, and I'm trying to drive this forward. So as he's gonna feel that he's being real effective with his chin tuck, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to crossing my wrists, driving this behind his head, and then I'm just gonna start walking my hand over my bicep to here. So what I'm trying to do is create a smaller space here. Again, I'm trying to bring my wrist to my shoulder, bringing this blade to my bicep. So I no longer have as much of a forward head pressure because he's actively fighting my head, but I don't want to disconnect. I don't want to pull away because that's going to disconnect my chest. So what I do is I double down. I go from here, across my wrist. I'm immediately reaching for this bicep, and this one's reaching for this deltoid. I'm not going to my own shoulder. Look at the space I'm creating. I'm creating this space. So check your chin, really good. This isn't working for me. Bring my hand up more. So what I'm trying to do is get my back of my knuckles on the back of his head. But because he's being so effective, he might keep that chin tucked and he's gonna bring that head back. Since I can't get my hand any further out here, if I feel like I'm trying to get to the nape of his neck, I'm not going on the crown of his head. I'm trying to get underneath here, so if I can only get here, so ideally I want to get here. If I can only get here, I'll just make a fist. And then I double down and drive it forward. So I'm not pushing with this as much as I'm leaning with my shoulder forward. That makes sense. So we're here, chin tuck. I'm losing this battle. I know I'm losing this battle because I'm low on the shoulder. I'm trying to bring it up. Cross. I can't go further. He's chin tuck, heads back, make a fist. How'd you feel on that?
Yeah, that sucked. That was a lot of sucking.
So
It was all the sucking.
I want him to know that I'm still going to try to finish it, but I know that he knows I don't have the chin. I'm not under the chin. So what I'm going to
Honestly, I don't think you need it. Even where my jaw was, my jaw was doing the work of
all his muscles are now doing what I wanted them to do.
Mandibular.
Yeah.
type choke.
And there's a couple other things we can do from there. If you do have a little bit of daylight underneath the chin, I'll go here, and if I can, and go, I got a little bit of chin, just a little bit, and he's hand fighting, he's doing whatever. I'll go back to shelving here. I can't punch this anymore, it's not going anywhere. I really double down on these fingertips. I'm still keeping my elbow in tight.
There you go, yeah.
I just give him a little,
and it slid.
Get on out of there, buddy.
yeah, it's just enough to where I got a little bit of, if you're fighting for your life, you can get pressure points using this part of your hand rather than the nose. You can use your cutting blade on the cheek, on the temple. So as he's fighting, if I start pushing, I'm gonna push back, and it's gonna give me a little bit of chin. It doesn't hurt, but it's uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
You know it's not where you wanna be.
It's not the way you
So
make
go ahead
friends and
take the
influence
chin.
people.
Can't get here. This isn't working for me. Boom, go ahead and hand fight with my head, whatever you want. Keep it tight. So I'm trying to go here. Now I get back. I can't get my hand further anymore. I can't really get my RNC, so I'm gonna make a fist and I'm gonna move forward. You feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm doing it so you guys can feel it to try to emulate doing it to each other. Now I'm losing this. I can't get this. So I'm gonna double down this. It's real subtle. Like I know. On their temple. MMA fighters do all the time. Eye socket, across the
Nose.
under the nose, across the nose. People don't like that. Chin across the teeth. Raking the teeth is amazingly effective. People know. People who know. The people who don't know, they're like, "What's he doing?
Yeah.
Is he rubbing his nose?" But
It makes sense now.
do it to yourself. I don't want you to do it to us, but you can just kind of feel that cutting blade across the teeth. I've had it done and just chews up the inside of the gums.
Yeah.
The lips.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure some
School 101. Somebody's pretending to be out.
for this little drill, we're gonna go on each other to here. And we're gonna start the short choke. This is called a short choke, and his chin's tucked in. It's already too late for me. I'm gonna try to cross my wrists. I'm just doubling down. Oh my God. I'm trying to just overpower him, but I know I don't have it, so I'm just gonna bring my elbows close together. I'm trying to bring my elbows close together, and we're gonna see who lasts each other. I'm gonna get tired if I keep squeezing. Okay? So I just wanna hold him to where he just feels like I can feel a little release, and then I might just. And you guys can-
Every time. It's just
Yeah.
a little, just a little bit.
So do it to me, and I'll give you the right amount of resistance I got. No neck. You guys can each do it to me, and then we'll do it to each other. You see how? And you get on your knees if you need to. It doesn't matter. You're already starting at the short choke. I'm keeping my chin tucked. Okay. Now, let's go to crossing the wrists. Trying to get behind. If you get it, good. If you can't. If you can get it, good. You don't have to go to it. So now with this one, we're going to go to start feeling at the RNC, and then go back to the little head tap. You can feel it's just a minuscule.
Yeah.
I don't mind. It helps me.
Yeah.
It helps me, at least I think. So you start the short choke. This is going to be behind me. And I want your left knuckles to be already on my right traps. Your left knuckles are going to be, yeah. So let me see.
He was already there. His
Oh,
hand
was he?
was-
I just
yeah,
couldn't.
yeah, his hand wasn't all the way turned.
Let me get you on your knees so you get a little bit higher. I just want you to feel this. I'm going to tuck my chin. There you go. And so for some reason you can't get it, I want you to cross your wrists. And then go for that. Okay. Go ahead and try to finish the Bulldog choke. Now bring your hands to my shoulder, your right fingers on my shoulder. And pull my forehead towards you. Up. There you go. And from there you can go to RNC or to the short choke. Because that little adjustment is what you're looking for. It doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
I'm going to tuck my chin a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Back here, not working.
hand's gotta go to your bicep.
Oh, my bicep, that's right.
Go
With
in.
it under. There you go.
Crossed in front, that's right, because it's super tight.
If your hands can't go anywhere, make a fist with your left hand. Right there, make a fist and drive your shoulder into my head.
You gotta tap from my jaw. My jaw's starting to push back, starting to disconnect. So you don't know that you're getting that.
Yeah,
And the referee is not gonna know that you didn't choke him. He
it's
probably
just
will.
a tap.
Yeah. So now we go back to that.
Like a mandibular choke
It
is
is.
not, the referee would call it not a choke.
It's a tap's a tap.
Tap's a tap.
Okay,
Yeah. If it's specifically written that you can't do a bulldog choke or whatever, however they wanna articulate, what they usually say is no spinal or neck cranks. It's not a neck crank.
It's not a can opener.
It's not an asphyxiation or blood choke either. So it's kind of somewhere in between. They'll even put in sometimes no smothering, because that's another thing, so it's smothering. Are you gonna argue with the ref about, was that a smother or was that a mandibular choke? You're out. Go ahead. Yeah,
So it's going from cross?
Yeah, so you're feeling at the RNC, and I want you to double down with your right fingers on my shoulder blade, and just give my forehead a little upward, backward. Yep. Keep going, and then go back, short choke or RNC. That's all you need.
So just your left elbow down. When you're trying to hit that short choke, instead of pulling back, lever it down.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was feeling that at the end
So
too.
here, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I'm kind of trying to.
totally. Okay.
So instead, now figure out there, that is so much tighter right
This-
there.
Right,
This
I was
kind of-
out here
yeah.
too much.
So actually you were back, take this elbow up, and you were pulling it back like this.
Right.
And that's
Rather
so,
than-
and yeah, it's a world of difference
Little
between.
wrist flick here, and this is the connection.
It's okay?
Yeah.
So let's try it on your Saturday.
Yeah, it's night and day.
Yeah, I can hear it in your voice too.
So we'll start with the short choke and try and get to the RNC. If
Okay.
you can't get the RNC, go down, tap, go back to short choke, RNC. It's just 70%, 60%. It's not trying to kill each other.
Okay.
Just trying to work on it. Just watch them.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Let's see if I can do it on my ass.
The shit choke doesn't be plenty of times.
I don't know. I feel like I practice. Get your left elbow in a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a crank on the
Wait,
jaw.
just a crank on the jaw, yeah.
So
Enough though.
pause right there, don't choke him so while we're talking. Get your knuckles facing his head, your palm gonna face you. That's ideal right there. Because that you can squeeze behind underneath of his neck. As opposed to when you're trying to turn the hand over for its palm out, it doesn't give you any advantage. So there, if your palm is facing you, go ahead and face it to you a little bit more. Now you can see you're able to slip back. But let's say you start arching your head back and your arc. Right there, make a fist with your left hand. Yeah, okay. Now double down, drive your shoulder towards his head. Can you feel less space in that triangle? He just occupied a little bit of space and drove with that shoulder. Okay? Let's start the short choke, Dante, with your left hand, your left forearm on his back. Yeah, bring that elbow tucked in towards the spine a little bit more. So your leverage is coming from your left hand, almost curling towards your face. That's gonna bring your right foot, yep. Give Jason a little bit of space, tuck your chin a little bit more, Jason. All the way down to your chest. There you go. That's kind of where it's gonna be. So go ahead and get your grip. Now from there, if you can't get that and Jason's gonna reach for your head or your hands, go ahead and go to the RNC, cross your wrists, try to force knuckles out this way. Okay. And now you should be able to walk on your bicep to your tricep, make a fist with your left hand, moving forward, taking up the space. Okay. And now this time I want you to fail at that. Double down on that shoulder with your right hand, and then give his forehead a little upward motion. Ideally, we'd give him a little palm straight.
Go here,
Yeah. Double down that grip before you let go.
switch to there.
Give a little upward motion. You can use the palm of your hand too. And I give him a little bit of resistance, a little bit more resistance, Jason. Try to keep.
Okay, he was like, no, I was trying.
No, I know, because it's these little minimal battles.
Yeah. I was letting him
Tuck
do
your
it
chin,
more
get,
than
get
I.
your chin tucked a little bit more before you get to it. There you go. There you go. This is where it's hard. You don't feel like you're getting it.
With that, so.
There you go. That's all you need. It's just a little minimum. Switch. Cool.
That's fine.
On Tuesday and Wednesdays, I gotta leave a little bit after.
No problem. Yeah. If you guys want to roll, let me know, because we can roll too.
I gotta go to Minnesota.
I just got half an hour.
Chin tuck. So, get on this, not working. So come across, fist.
Left hand, walk it on your bicep to your tricep a little bit more. That's going to take up more space forward through the temple. If you can't do it, bring your right hand
Work
out.
the mission.
And get your right hand on his shoulder, not your bicep. Now you're
Oh,
going to
so as soon as I pull this out, I'm going right to the shoulder,
Yes.
hand switch.
That's all you need. That little bit of, that's it.
Nice.
That's not a tackle, it's gonna, you just try.
Want me to give you a little more resistance, or you wanna?
Yeah, sure. Okay, bam, I'm here, he's got his chin tucked, so I'm gonna go
Dante, reach for his head, try to push his elbows, pull his elbows, try to keep your chin tucked.
abort the mission.
Hold down, go to short shot. Good. And don't worry about the finish as much as control. You're learning to control it.
It's good.
Cool.
It's all right there, man.
Yeah.
I think, one thing I can tell is your elbow is coming up,
Yeah.
and like as soon as Mike reminded me to bring it towards the belly button.
We'll get butterflies in.
What's that?
We'll get butterflies in with you, but 8:30 you gotta go, or,
Yeah, I should walk out.
thanks, brother.
Always good to see you.
Good seeing you guys.
Um,
Thanks, Dante.
See you guys, tomorrow, hopefully.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Alright, Brendan, I'm ready for.
Start with that chin tuck. That's gonna be your defense, right? That's, can't get to the neck here, hope. Let's do, gable grip, no problem.
Right.
Left thumb in too. See if that helps you with that leverage.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, that's so uncomfortable.
And it just kept
I
coming.
can breathe just fine, it's just like, oh, get off of my jaw.
It'll break. It
Yeah.
will break.
I can feel that.
So being cognizant of that is, yeah, this is why I'm exposing you guys to it, because there's some people that this is their go-to.
Yeah. Well, people give, I hate to use sort of a cliche, but McGregor shit for tapping on Khabib, but you feel that, and you're like, dude, you know, there's, fuck you.
No, his jaw was in. He should have just held out.
Alright, so jaws in. Not working.
There, that's not working, so instead.
Let's see if we can, let's bail on this, intentionally bail on this.
Okay.
To get to the blood choke.
Good.
So, let's go.
There. That. That.
That's all you need. And that was actually probably twice as much. Yeah. I'll show you a couple of things I'll do. I'll show you, Jason. Jason, come in and I'll show you that. Okay. So now that you know that I can get that little thing, head, shoulder punch, nice little, sometimes you do a little tapping, there's smothering, which I don't do unless I'm joking around.
Right.
But you can definitely smother, so as if you're coming in your hand fighting, it's just psychological.
Yeah.
You can still breathe.
Yeah.
What,
Pinch their nose.
sometimes if I can't get the short choke, I can't get the RNC, this isn't doing anything, I'll double down, make a ball and socket, and I'll show you, Jason. I'll make a ball and socket, I'll palm it, and I'm driving this into here. So for some reason, he's really good at being here, he's arching his back, he's pushing his head back at the same time. I can't get my head forward, I just go here, and I start doubling. I'll show you what it feels like. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been needing to work on my square jaw.
Was it a blood choke or was it just crushing your jaw?
It was jaw crush.
Yeah, sorry, and I was trying to be gentle, and I'm not trying to.
No, but-
it's knowing that it's there.
Yeah.
I might be able to open it up, or I might get you to tap. So.
It was a more acute jaw crush too.
And
When I was
it's up here, and I can't get the short choke, and make the ball and socket.
Yeah, I feel it.
Good to me.
Yeah.
Then you can do it to both of us.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
It immediately goes from like, he's not gonna pop my head off to, holy shit, he's smashing my ears together.
So, and the other thing is, so I was out here and I tried it,
And you felt my shoulder come up.
his shoulder came up, so then I
You got
shifted it
underneath.
in a little farther,
Okay, behind your
and then
shoulder.
I used that extra leverage, and that was when I got the
Okay.
rope crush
Let's do
on
it,
that.
let's do it. It sucks. Dude, it did it to me.
That forearm against the shoulder blade seems pretty key, so.
So let's just do the finish.
Okay.
What you wanna do is make a fist with your right
Got
hand,
the fist.
and you're using your palm to push it to the shoulder. So if you get the neck, great. If I got my chin in here, you're gonna crush my ear to ear. So that's what you're gonna do to finish. Go ahead and do
Cool.
that.
Okay, here, this isn't working, so I get up under here, behind the shoulder. Crush.
So scoot your,
Keep doing it, doing it.
Okay,
scoot your left elbow, or your left forearm in on his, so release it a little bit. Slide over there, and now go.
So you're pushing this fist to your shoulder over here.
right.
And then you're using that as a lever.
Do it to me.
So you got the chin, this isn't working, so get in there.
Up.
Yeah,
Yep, that's us.
cool.
If you go to another gym, this is a different, don't do it at another gym. If you do it here, I don't think you do it.
Yeah,
Because what,
pretty rough and tumble here.
what you wanna do is expose the neck, but if I'm gonna sit there and defend my neck effectively, and you end up getting a in-compliance charge.
Yeah. Well, in here, you know, Steve talked yesterday about how Master Silvio's, where he's coming from is more self-defense rather than sport.
Mhm.
So, you're gonna do what you need to do in the streets.
At work, I can't do these because they look like chokes, but we all know the subtle differences.
Right. Yeah.
So what I'll do is, I'll do a head and arm control. I'm still chilling.
Right.
But if I'm coming in, I'm using it, it's like a duck under, so here. I know I'm choking, but it looks like I'm controlling, I'll just do it as a modified shoulder control. But I'm getting his getting his carotid with my bicep. I may not get the choke, but he's gonna like go, oh shit. Let's go to butterflies. Do you have to leave at 8:45?
No.
You gotta leave at 8:45?
No, about 10 till though, probably. I
Okay.
should start wrapping it up.
So
Yeah.
butterflies is another guard that we have.
Yeah.
There's the connections that we have. Just having one, but the biggest thing is I wanna have my shins on the thighs, and I gotta make a boot. Ballerina toes, boot, so we'll learn terminology. Ballerina toes are used to escape usually, or to wedge in between for foot escapes. But ballerina toes, boot. You can see my shin is contracted, I'm bringing my toes to my knee. But I'm also using my shin, I'm using a frame and a grip. I'm using this as a grip to get his tendons and his hamstrings. So what I wanna do is get my hips under him, or I wanna push his knees away. The ideal position for me is to get him in the defensive position where I'm driving my shins into his inner thighs, and I've got double underhooks. I'm gonna keep his chest on my forehead. Because the moment I start losing position on left or right, he's gonna start to smash his body into me, and he can start doing all kinds of passes. So what I ideally want is double underhooks, and I'm driving right here. So if he opens his legs, fine. If he closes his knees, I need to go ahead and be cognizant of that. So what I want to do is hook. So if you try to stand up, I'm gonna stay with you. You can have your chair. Okay, I'm not losing my center line with him. Okay, from here I can start going leg attacks. But let's say you go down. For him, what he wants to do is bring his knees. First, I'm trying to control him, and I can do two things. So let me get you.
Yeah, that was not
Yeah. So, well, I'm trying to say the best way to explain it, so let's get this double under, get your forehead in my chest, so instead of bringing your head down, I want you to bring your forehead in my chest. So, here, he's trying to open me up, I'm trying to fight for inside position, I can't. So if I can, get inside, I'll push underhooks, I'll frame on the hips. I'll stand up.
Okay.
So that way, he loses that boot connection, and all he's got is a shin. Or, what I'll do is, I can't get the inside, he's getting real nice and tight. I'll try to smash and get him to one hip. So this is gonna start opening up. If he doesn't stay sticky with this, which is hard, I'm gonna bring this way so you can see. I'm gonna bring this knee, I'm gonna pummel it over, and I'm trying to get on this leg here. Even though you still got the butterfly, what I've done now is I've shifted my weight to his left leg, and I'm pinching down on my elbow.
Gotcha.
So he doesn't have this butterfly on his left side anymore, he still has this butterfly here. I can't just back step because he's gonna sweep. So I gotta pinch, my knees in, drive in. Back step this way, because now his butterfly is not here. This butterfly is what he needs.
So you escaped it by crushing it inside of this leg.
I went to this side, overstep this butterfly.
Okay.
So what he wants to do, and I'll show it to you one more time, is keep both his butterflies in. So if I fail at doing this and I don't smash that left bottom leg, he still has his butterfly. Walk back and see what his butterfly is.
I can see it.
Right? I'm not smashing him down. I can't move this leg over here. So it feels for me to bring my leg back here. Now what he's gonna do is, using his right elbow, he's gonna drive to the mat, he's gonna drive his left elbow to the ceiling. Those butterflies are effective for sweeping. So, the more I drive towards him, the more he elevates my hips. So I go, all right, fine, I'm gonna drive this one. He's gonna lift me.
Get the full left.
Yep. If I drive an angle, he's gonna use it to control an arm. I can't push out. He's gonna use the opposite. So if he grabs this head arm, he's gonna use his right. So you grab that butterfly. I'm gonna drive in, he's gonna overhook with this, either my head or just my shoulder crunch, doesn't matter. Now I'm gonna start fighting. He's gonna use that right butterfly to swing me. This way, because I can't close with this arm.
Cool. Yeah. Just gotta keep those hooks in.
This knee trap. So we're gonna just butterfly sneaking together. Forehead, chest. Keep those underhooks if you can, either hooking up or hooking around. So either going here or here.
Okay.
If you can get
That's
extra,
scheduler. Yeah.
if you get extra behind my body, I'm gonna feel tension on my chest. I'll start arching my back.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit low. Can you get straight? Yeah. I can't get inside, so I'm gonna drive in you. You can take me anywhere you want, right? So I'm gonna try to do my escape. I don't know if I wanna
That's
do
where you release your S grip
So
and
that's-
push those
Yeah.
armpits up.
Get him fully elevated. Yep. Got it.
So now I'm gonna try to maneuver and get around your hips and get two knees on one side. Smash your butterflies.
So
if you're here,
is this where I would sweep?
you can go ahead and sweep because now I'm posted on the mat. I'm at a disadvantage
Yeah.
because I'm trying to get two knees on your left shin. It's not
When you're
because
on
butterfly.
balance.
So this is why it's effective for a sweep. Now,
This is key. Okay. So here, you may be going for the S grip. Okay, lost that.
it's okay, and that's the battle.
Yeah.
So now deal with each other. First one, give me distance. Butterflies? Oh. Take 43, just get some time checks.
Thanks.
So going down, trying to cut through the inside.
Yeah, which we said. If you could overhook that right hand that's posted, great, but if not,
So overhook,
if you can,
the direction you're trying to.
If you can, but you were able to elevate your hips enough to keep touching up.
So if I can break. So I felt like I was able to get out of the butterfly.
So you were out of this side.
Yeah, so what's my move from there?
So
Trap this
here,
leg.
you've got that out, but I'd already had this, and that's when I grabbed this.
So, I'll show you where you're at, and I'll show you.
Sorry.
You get to me. So, he's here, he wants his left side, and he overhooks your post, right, or you had some kind of control, right? So, what happened is, you double down all your weight on that right knee.
Yeah.
And he was able to elevate his right hip. So the only thing you could have done was sit back, so go ahead and start elevating your
Okay.
hip.
Yeah.
Because I know he's gotta elevate my hip, but knowing that time, knowing it's coming and everything.
Okay.
It's just knowing what he needs to do to mitigate it.
Yeah.
There's a shoulder crunch from here that Gordon Ryan's really good at. So, if I'm here.
Shoulder, please.
This is the bad one?
This is the good one.
Okay, so all I'm gonna do is, either go, arm. But now that I've got
I see that
this,
a lot.
I'll go to here, so I'm trying to actually, instead of crunching under, I'm trying to extend it out. And I'm using my butterfly to start going to a control for this arm lock. I may not get this, but he might start driving back into me. I'll use it.
Those butterflies keep him from moving
Yeah.
his legs effectively.
So now he can't post because now I've locked his elbow.
Okay.
He feels secure here, but he can't sprawl because I've got this butterfly up.
Yeah.
You know?
And all my weight's directly over this knee.
He's got all his weight on his left knee and his left elbow. He's got nothing posting if he's standing from this.
Yeah.
So if he starts to smash me, this is what I want, at least one arm.
Okay.
We'll work on that more. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
It's a whole new world.
So if you get butterfly, just introduce this one. You get the butterfly on me. Try to do. And I'm able to kind of get you from getting in position. I'll frame on the shoulders or getting on the inside. I'll just stand up.
Oh, just stand up.
I will
Just
stand
stand
up, but he's gonna do other things. But knowing I can do this because now he's no longer at butterflies, he doesn't have shit.
But he could dummy sweep. or
There's a lot. There's a lot.
De La Hiva.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So in combat jiu-jitsu, there is a get down rule, and they start at butterfly double under.
Oh,
So as soon as I stand up and I disengage, game's on.
okay.
So just knowing that, I don't know if that's gonna help you, but it's like a nice little.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
Just, again, I'd always thought that butterflies were, that you wanted to be deeper under here, that you wanted to be under the butt.
Depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to scoot to elevate, yeah. So right here, I have trouble lifting 210-pound people. So as I'm pushing forward, I kind of boot scoot. Right there. And I'm hoping they're gonna post, if they're athletic, they're gonna post their hands on the mat. Right? There's a bunch of different leg pummel escapes like that. But I'm giving him a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
Whereas if he does it to me, Tanner's a good example. He'll do this to me, I'll immediately disengage. I just don't like it.
You're like, no thanks.
Yeah.
Not going there.
I can't post on the mat. I have to push up, I'm pitching my knees and driving my hips.
And you just pushed off his shoulders to get up, or whatever?
I think he just popped off the mat.
So
So rather
as
than
soon-
posting, he pushed off.
Gotcha.
So as soon as he's coming in, and if I post and I'm athletic, cool. I'm not doing anything else I can pummel my legs in, and I'm not as dexterous as Tanner is. So this time, I'm gonna do it, and what I'm doing is I'm popping up to bring my
Gotcha.
chips up.
Yeah, once his legs come down, the weight comes back.
Yeah. So you like popped your hips up and then stood up.
So get me hip elevated.
Okay.
So you can start moving around whatever you want to do. And now the difference is this. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh no.
And you feel the knee pinch taking away that
Yeah.
butterfly.
Cool.
We can try it a couple times, but if you gotta go, we'll go with it.
I should go. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
See you, man. All right. Have a great day. Just last night at work, all I taught was an arm drag and a Russian 21, and I still got people complaining about it. I can't if I do that. I'm not teaching to take them because we don't have a match right now.
Right.
You know, but this guy was like here. And I was just trying to show him, hey, look, I just got control in this neck. He goes, what if I twist my elbow? And then he started driving the shoulder. Yeah. Yes. There's a lot of things you can do from there. But I'm just letting you know there's a control position.
So I really like the Russian for the sacrifice roll.
Yeah.
Kick that leg through.
Yeah.
And roll
I
it.
did that. I think you were
So
working on it.
I hit that in the competition actually.
So with the butterflies, I want you to think of what am I giving you, what do you want? So when you feel that people butterfly, what do you see?
Honestly, I don't see a whole lot of people butterflying. And when Steve sent it to me, Tanner sent it to me, obviously. And everything happens so fast. I'm not seeing anything. I just know that I end up flying above them, and then he's got my back, and I'm trying to defend my neck.
So I'm gonna elevate your right hip so you're pushing on your left shoulder, protecting your shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. What I want you to think of is, instead of letting me get you compromised to here, using your weight on that butterfly, you bring your face out. That little change affects this butterfly, and I already know how to place it on this. And I'm pulling this out right, so I'm trying to think what is effective then. What's going on, sir?
Just forgot my phone last night somewhere.
Is that what's ringing?
Probably. There it is.
We've heard it something ringing in here a few times.
Yeah. it's-
Oh, is that it?
Good day.
I
Me
said,
too.
I mean, so, again,
So the thing that I'm getting into, it's not that. So
I don't need to say to use it, but I wanna know how you're feeling.
honestly, I'm not seeing it. What's generally happening is I'm in guard or I'm recovering guard, and then I'll get in half butterfly, and I know that there's stuff that can be done from there, but I just don't know enough about it. So, yeah, like a single butterfly hook. No, what I'm usually getting in is I'll be here. And I know that there's, I'm defending, usually I'm getting smashed, and I know that there's sweeps to get there, I just don't know how to get to the sweep from where I'm at. And I mean, at times I'll even be here. And I guess that's the problem, is that
You're smashing.
their
it.
weights,
Yeah.
their weight's so far back, I have to get my hips further under.
So if you get to that position and you feel that you're laying back, bring your knees to your chest.
Okay.
And then as you extend your feet down to my feet, I want you to sit up so that you're not flat on your back.
Okay.
So if I'm smashing and I'm effective, this, bring your knees up to your shoulders and then kick straight out.
And then scoop back under like that?
Yeah, that's ideal. So I'm gonna try to smash it. My natural reaction is to, whoa, shit.
Okay.
So
And
if
then
I can, if I get these double underhooks, and you can't do that because I'm now smashing and pinning your hips to the mat. If you can fight for underhooks here, I'm putting the body work, I smash you. Your recovery is right there.
Got it. But that makes perfect sense. But, and that's the thing, is that trying to work the butterfly with my shoulders on the mat obviously doesn't work. So I was trying to do that number, and I missed the knees up, and then use that as they put, because you know how it is. When you pull, as I pull somebody in, his leg.
And you can see if I do it to you, I post it on your shoulders. So if you post it on the mat, you're not coming in double unders.
Right.
I'm still fighting,
Right.
but I'm kind of getting that inside that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Let's think about this position. We'll switch top to bottom. You're saying you go butterfly and sometimes you get stuck here. It's almost like a knee shift, right?
So it's usually there, where,
Almost got quarters. You know what headquarters is?
No.
Okay. Headquarters is when my knee is in your saddle, my knee's in your sternum,
Okay.
and then my shin's in your saddle or your groin. And then this one, you would step up to put your right shin into my knee pit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this is headquarters position where you're dominating my hips. And I can do a lot from here, but you actually have an advantage. So, let's go back to the knees. They're here, and they're driving this knee up.
Yeah.
The butterfly isn't really there because you don't have the butterfly hook. I would say either drive this knee through the knee shield,
Okay.
or frame, pull, frame, get that other butterfly.
Got it.
But this one right here, you're at a disadvantage because look, you're on the back, your
Right.
hips are flat. And even if you get here, all that's gonna happen is this leg's gonna get negated. You're either gonna smash it this way, or you're gonna open it up to pounce. So if I can't get this knee shield in, I'm gonna have to double down. And I can't always pummel, so sometimes I'm stuck here. Like this guy's driving in, and I can't get my leg in, so I'll use this hand to force it in.
That makes sense.
So I'm gonna drive into your knee a little bit, bringing your knee to your chest. This is gonna be outside, kind of like not even a half-ass knee shield, but you're just kind of at a deficit here, right?
Okay.
So what I want you to do is think of either bringing this to pummel back in.
And that's what I've been working lately, is pummeling. If I get one butterfly, pummel the other under, and then at least I'm getting in the position. Even if I don't know what to do from here, position before submission, get in a position.
Where you're creating frames.
Right.
Or, if you have this, and I'm not letting you get that knee, I'm driving this, I want you to push your right heel over this knee bit.
There?
Yeah, and then get this knee shield.
Right, take that half guard.
Just, you've got now two shields, you're pulling, you're pushing.
Right.
So the butterfly may get stuck if I bring your heel to your butt. So now, you get to your right side. You got two options. Butterfly. Or
Okay.
that's kind of what Steve's talking about. You can
Okay.
use the butterfly, you just don't know how.
Right. And that's what it comes down to. And again, nothing on him.
No.
He knows what he's doing. I have no clue what to do from there. So it in the moment it was like, yeah, I'd love to fucking use the butterfly. I just don't know what the fuck I'm doing with it.
Well, I don't have as much of a methodology as Tanner does
Right.
to the way he teaches, because I like his system.
Yeah.
But if you notice, what I try to do is show you the finish, the counter, to apply it.
Right.
So this is our end goal. This is what they're gonna do, and this is gonna be our entry. So what I showed you was, why do we do butterflies?
Right.
Now I showed you from your position that you find yourself in, how can we get to butterflies? Are you effective at what I showed at the beginning of the butterflies yet? Probably not.
Well, and to be honest, just the part that I was missing was knee up, knees back. Just that gets me where I need to go.
You could wrestle up from there.
Right, exactly. I can wrestle up from there. This is not, my heels are in my back. I have theoretical butterfly hooks in. They're not passing, especially the white belts that I'm rolling with, aren't passing my butterfly hooks very easily. And some of the blues are having a little bit of trouble because, again, but it's just, this portion was the thing that I wasn't getting. Now I can get to here. I know where to go from here. I can do sweeps. I can do, I can bring them up over my head.
You can do a technical get up, wrestle up. So as you're coming up,
Right.
that's gonna be good for you because you can just start drive right in the
Right.
blind line. And I can see you doing that. But just what we were going over, from this deficit of you're not really in butterfly, you're kind of more of a knee shield. So yes, you've got one butterfly in, but it's not really hooking on anything. Because if I post on this hip, I'm gonna walk to this knee, because walking to this side gives you that butterfly hook. Right, so knowing that if I know this, I'm gonna block this with my elbow. Now I'm gonna try to get this right knee in front of your shin, but this butterfly is now engaged. Instead of being engaged on this leg, it's now engaged on that
Right.
leg. So you can either use this to try to double down on a sweep, but if I drive in, you can get that left other flat. Yeah. So this is a disadvantage knowing what I'm going to do. Right? If I just try to double down and smash you,
Then I get that butterfly. And that lets me start, okay,
creates
I appreciate it, man.
Not bad.
Yeah. No, I just, again, it was, I'm making a cognizant effort to not just wrestle, but actually do
Yeah.
jujitsus.
You can use the wrestling in transition.
Right, and I get that, but I'm trying to, like, I'm putting an effort into doing, you know, Tanner talks about having a conversation and do jujitsu. Not just wrestle and don't let. And so that's where that's what I'm trying to get to. It's an effort.
It's all